This is Longquan in eastern China.
And this is Toledo in Spain.
Forged 2,600 years ago, the Longquan sword was the first of its kind to be made from iron in Chinese history. I'll find out what's kept the sword flames burning here for millennia.
Here in Europe, master forgers would turn Toledo into one of the world's most preeminent centres for sword making.
I'll discover the metal that made this small Spanish city so great.
Not sure what I've agreed to here, but I think it's way above my pay grade. Oh, who cares if a finger goes?
Welcome to Crossing Cultures. Join us as we explore the ancient ties
That bind both China and Europe.
The Longquan sword is one of China's most iconic weapons. Listed as a national intangible cultural heritage item, to this day, master swordsmiths still follow the ancient forging tradition. The unique minerals or iron sand found in Longquan are what gives the blades here their extra resilience and strength.
How much do you need to forge a sword?
Approximately 30 to 40 jin of iron sand.
May I have a try?
Yes.
So circular movements. I get some water.
The forging process is complex. One of the most challenging steps is hammering. The steel has to be repeatedly heated until it turns yellow. It is then shaped on the anvil.
I saw many sparks coming from each beat.
That was the refining process to remove impurities.
I find some rhythm in your forging moves.
It's more tiresome and time-consuming to speak out loud. Since we have worked together for so long, we can quickly get to the point.
In ancient times, only the very best craftsmen in China became swordsmiths. Seeing the sparks shoot everywhere like fireworks, I was too enchanted not to give it a go.
After one hit, draw back the hammer and beat downwards.
Down?
Yes, hit it right.
Once hammered, a special knife is used to shape and grind the sides of the blade. Getting the right balance is a real challenge. The swordsmith uses all his skill to alter both the thickness and the angle. The blade is then reheated and quenched before being polished and later decorated. Hu Xiaojun is one of Longquan's most renowned swordsmiths. Passionate about tradition, he has revived many of the ancient techniques. His famous swords of heaven are forged from meteoric iron.
This is called the Winman-Statten pattern. It's crystallized iron and nickel after hundreds of millions of years of cooling. It's very complex.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, then when the light reflects, it's so beautiful. Look at those waves. This is Longquan's sword.
Famed since Roman times, the quality of Toledo steel made it a hotbed for sword making. Bladesmiths here spent centuries refining the forging process, a secret that would make the swords from this part of Spain feared and revered all over the world. Julio is the city's only master forger still making swords by hand. One of the last links to a tradition stretching back more than 2 millennia.
Julio, what was so different about Toledo steel?
Toledo steel is a technique that consists of welding 2 layers of steel on the outside, on the cutting edges, and an iron layer on the inside. It gives us a very hard and very flexible blade in this way. This is the difference between Toledo steel, which is very resistant to shocks, and a steel that is not Toledo steel, which would break. This is the difference
between the two.
To get both flexibility and resistance, Julio tempers the blade, first by heating it to around 800 degrees Celsius. He then cools it in water. This gives the steel its strength.
This blade, at the moment, is very, very hard.
To get the flexibility, he puts the blade back into the forge, this time at a much lower temperature.
We have to heat it up again to about 250 degrees, more or less. And with this, we will be able to remove the inner tensions of the steel. And in this way, we will obtain a more flexible blade. Finished.
Once forged, Julio and the rest of the team at Espadas Mariano Zamorano shape, polish and mount the blades. Tourists are the firm's main customers. Throughout history, swords have held deep cultural significance, both in Asia and Europe. But despite being similar, both the fabrication and use weren't exactly the same.
So Santa, here we have a typical Toledo blade and finished sword. In what way is the design different to, say, a Longquan sword from China?
They look like the same weapon, but they are different weapons. The European sword is designed to be used with the point and to strike, not to cut. That's why it has no edge. Do you want to take it?
Please. Yeah. Wow, it's so light.
Yes, that's why the balance is very important.
Super, it's fabulous. Okay.
There is an old saying in China that a fine dance has to have a fine prop.
In China, a sword is both a weapon and more than a weapon.
It's why dancers in China are often seen with something in their hands. This enhances the message they want to convey.
The sword doesn't exist alone. It's ingrained in our culture.
Swords are a popular choice for this. They magnify the portrayal of different emotions and also signify the different personality and status of the character.
Confucius used to transition the sword from a weapon as a symbol of power to a language of protocol. When it came to the Chinese poet Li Bai, he used the sword as a brush to write his poetry. An artistic creation should combine with cultural content to show its intellectual side.
Within the splendour of Almodovar del Rio's magnificent castle, reenactors from across Spain regularly bring history back to life. From the fighting to the armour and weapons, medieval combat group Bohut pays meticulous attention to detail in order to recreate the past.
So our armour is based on the medieval ages, usually between the 14th and 16th century. And it's completely authentic. It doesn't matter what background and training you have. Obviously, it will help. You'll always gain the skill as you progress.
Fighting like this is not a recent phenomenon. Even in times gone by, nobles and knights would train for fun.
This sport is incredible. It pushes you to the limit. This makes it amazing. It feels like you're doing something historic with 30 kilos of armour. Everything about this is epic and it's incredible.
But be warned, this isn't for the faint-hearted. Something I soon found out for myself.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't see a thing. What do I do? Just hope. I don't think this fight's going to last very long. Okay, you win. Oh. Oh. I can't breathe. Oh, that is amazing. Wow, not to be done at home. All right.
Oh. So there you go, a small slice of Toledo's sword-making story. For now, it's goodbye from me here in Spain.
That's it for this edition of Crossing Cultures. For more stories like this, just head to our webpage. In the meantime, thanks for watching.